That Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Starr.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
Welcome. Bienvenue.
Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. Get on up. It's bobsled time.
Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome.
Cool runnings.
We're here to talk and bring a little civil discourse to an otherwise discordant world.
And John Candy.
How you doing?
I kind of want to go bobsledding now.
Yeah.
In Jamaica.
I don't want to be anywhere closer to the equator.
You don't want to be near the island? No.
Honestly, it's probably nicer at the equator than it is here right now. It's icky.
You know, we were talking about that we were
talking about cool runnings.
In some capacity, and then I'm scrolling through TikTok, and then a clip or two clips came up, and I'm just like, I think the universe is trying to tell me to watch that movie. Like,
it's on Disney.
It's a Disney movie.
It is a Disney movie. I'm over summer. I'm very excited that there's only like a week of summer left.
It's been kind of gross.
It's so gross. It has rained so fucking much. The bugs, and they're getting arrogant. When I tell you.
When have they not been arrogant?
A mosquito buzzed in my ear. And you know how you can tell the difference?
That's the worst.
You can tell the difference between bugs when they buzz. You can tell the difference between a bee and a fly.
Would you like to try the word buzz? That's not fair. Rizzuto's not a word. He's a baseball player.
Oh man, but I'm ready for this. I'm ready for the summer to be fucking over.
Let me say something. When I get a bug in the ear or in the eyelid or like whatever, like I want to fight the world.
In the eye is like in the eye is not even as bad as in the nose for me. If it hits, like I've caught gnats in a blinked eye, like it goes in the corner of your eye and you're just like wah, and you get it.
I don't really get them in the nose or the mouth. They go straight for the ear or the eye.
I get them in the nose, and that's the worst because then I want to snot. And I'm outside, and I don't have a tissue.
There should be a rule against that.
Ugh. I see. Where are you going? Where are you going with that?
No clue.
What?
What?
I've taken to wearing earplugs this summer because I can't stand the bugs. And I see them in, like, the morning and at night when the lights are out and everything like that. And the poor dog is in the wet grass that they never come to cut. And there's just bugs flying all around her. And I'm like, this poor animal. It's a wonder we can't keep them out of the house.
I can just picture somebody driving along in their car listening to this and be like, that's me. I know what that's like. Preach on, sister.
Write in. Call us. Let us know who's out there. But in the meantime, right, we have rules.
I was wondering when you were going to get back to those.
Well, you mentioned them, so I figure I'll go for it. We do have 3 rules here in the bubble for the sake of civility. No judgment, nothing personal, and don't be a dick, please. It's too hot.
We can't really call it a bubble, though. I mean, our scrims only cover like half of this area.
Well, the podcast bubble. Yeah. You know, we're in the podcast bubble, which one day I'm sure will burst and we'll bid everyone a fond adieu. But in the meantime, we're really floating on. Just floating on.
Yeah, we got to appease those shareholders.
Yeah.
All two of them,
yeah. What do you want to talk about?
What do I want? I mean, I could talk about anything.
You had an interesting weekend.
That's right. We said last week we were going to talk about it on this episode.
Yeah.
Or at Ella episode. Because I had said to you, I'm like, man, this is going to be a crazy weekend. You're like, why? And I'm like, I'm going back and forth between here and Newtown like every day.
Yeah.
Because
that's not the crazy part.
There was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the time of recording today. And I have to go back on Thursday, I think. So
what's on Thursday?
That audition that I have.
Oh, that's in Newtown?
Yeah.
Oh.
So 5 trips back to my hometown in 1 week. You know?
I mean, at least it's not far.
No.
But that's not the crazy part.
Oh, yeah, no. The crazy part was that on Friday and into Saturday morning was my my 20-year high school reunion.
And there's a bug in here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Just saw it fly past you. You son of a bitch.
Is it time to change those blue light pads?
Yeah, it's time.
Okay.
It's time.
Definitely not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. But yes, you had your 20-year high school reunion.
Which
congratulations.
I had been like on the fence about for the better part of the last year.
Yeah. You've been asking me, because you had asked me, like, if they have a 20-year reunion, would you want to go? And I'm like, that's your call.
Well, originally,
don't know these people.
It started out with like, if I was close with any of these people other than like my actual friends that I maintained over the years,
Yeah.
we would still talk to each other, and I don't really talk, on a regular basis with most or anybody else that I went to school with.
Yeah.
Just my, close circle. Which has dwindled even in just the past year because, there have been some falling outs. And so that added to the not trepidation, but like
Apprehension.
sure, about me, whether or not I wanted to actually go. Cause it's just like, why bother, And it got closer and closer. And I kept thinking to myself, it's like, there's no reason really for me not to go. Like, if for nothing else, it's a night out with you where we get to go and eat and have a good time and get out of the house and away from the kids.
And even that turned into a bit of an adventure.
It certainly did.
We stuffed like 180 people into
No.
No, but
There was like maybe 100 tops.
There were a lot of people there.
Yeah, because
there were probably more than
out of our
100 there.
out of our 400, almost 400 person class. I think Chris only managed to get invites out to 180, and he said like 90 to 100 had confirmed.
And their spouses and significant
No.
others.
The 90 to 100 was included in
okay.
that. Yeah.
Well, nonetheless, it was a good time.
Luton always be a good time.
And then the skies opened up.
Zoltan opened the sky.
Oh my glob. Did the rains pour down on us?
And the lightning, like,
touched
the ground.
The lightning, as we were walking to the car at the end of it, the lightning started, because we went during a lull in the storm, but the lightning flashed so bright and so pink that I saw.
So frequent.
I kept seeing it when I blinked.
I'm used to seeing lightning flash across the sky.
Yeah. No, that went right towards the ground.
Very seldom have I seen it, like, go vertically.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
that was wild. That definitely touched down somewhere.
I remember being in college and being outside the main building on break and looking out in the distance during storms and seeing it go up and down. I'm just like, and that it was bright and fucking like.
I've only ever, I'm so used to seeing like cloud lightning, that it doesn't really, go to the ground. Yeah. It doesn't connect to anything.
And the thunder wasn't even that like, it wasn't that loud. It wasn't that like boomy.
It was pretty consistent. It was,
yeah. But the funny thing is that like, like midway into the night, all of this starts, the wind picks up, the rain picks up, and everybody's just moving further and further back towards, the screen to, because posts are getting knocked over, banners are flying, balloons are flying,
and this
pizza's flying,
and this poor wet dog.
Yeah, who wanted to go into it?
All she wanted to do was be in the rain.
To which I yelled out to Chris, the guy, in our class who basically put this whole thing together, along with the 10-year. I'm like, you sure know how to throw a party.
It was a good time though. It was fun. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and then you sort of reconnected with a couple of people.
I mean, I didn't make amends with anybody I had falling out with, but we were civil to each other,
which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It went a lot differently than I thought. We were either just going to ignore each other, or
I almost would have preferred
a scene was going to be made.
For me, I almost would have preferred that the ignoring happened, because to me, like you had said, you whispered in my ear at the very beginning, just be civil. And I told you, I'm like, I don't have a problem being civil.
No, that wasn't for you. That was for me.
But you said it at me.
Who else am I going to say it to? Like, be civil.
But
be civil.
I was just like, okay, but then he tried to touch me, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm like, we are not friends.
We're on a break.
Yeah, we're on a break.
Because
I'm like, this is a no for me.
He's got Tourette's, and he's on the spectrum, and he's
care.
this, that, and he's just a social retard.
I don't care.
No.
But I'm just like, it felt very for show.
Once he approached us, I figured, okay, just act like no time has passed. Which is exactly what happened. Just be treat it like any other meeting.
But now it's like you never even saw each other. Now it's right back to,
which is fine, because I'll take the lull as opposed to the him calling and texting me every single day, multiple times a day, because he's got nobody else to talk to.
Yeah.
I'm sure in the past year he found other people to talk to.
Thank you.
presumably.
Thank
But
you.
again, but the funny thing was this person in if you want to go back to the episode from I think at the end
I think
of
it's
May.
May 27th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of 25.
Yep.
We did a whole episode on this person, and he had mentioned he didn't know that my dad passed away, and he's like, "Why didn't you call me?" I'm like, "You know why? You know exactly why."
And that was it.
yeah.
End
And
of,
he was
end of meeting.
and he was upset because I didn't call him.
And still did not say he was sorry. He didn't give you
No.
any kind of condolences
No.
or anything.
But again, I can just chalk that up to just him being a social retard.
Like,
Um,
it's just like, it's not shocking, but it's just like, come on.
I did, however, in trying to be the bigger person, I did tell him, I conceded that the argument we were having when he was last here, I was wrong about, which I was.
Yeah.
Okay. I overshot something. Like I in the moment, I was too focused on the way he was speaking to me. And that's why,
And so you owned up to your part of it.
right.
And did he?
No.
Shocking.
To which I replied, but that last game that we played, I did beat you.
Ugh. This brings
At which
up...
he laughed and then got up and left.
This brings up, I think, a question for me. And it's something that we had discussed after the fact and to an extent before going to your reunion. And that's the idea of catastrophizing, something that you and I are
Really
very,
good at.
very well versed in. When you get yourself in that mindset, and I don't mean you, I mean everybody, anybody who gets themselves in that mindset
Because I don't
of
just
like,
catastrophize about things
Yeah.
like this.
but like when you think, like
worst.
I'm ready for things to go poorly,
Yeah.
and then they don't, which they didn't.
Right.
Do you look back on that as like, I just wasted so much brain power?
No.
No, you don't think that? I
No.
usually do. I'm always like, I could have been perfectly fine about this and everything. It's like,
I just express internal gratitude that it didn't go as bad as I thought it could have.
but will you think next time that it will still go hinky?
I mean, I it's become way easier in recent months and now years for me to allow anxiety to creep up and manifest, and I hate it, but that's just kind of what I'm working through right now. And that's, it is what it is. It's like the whole driving thing. Like I was telling somebody the other day, I'm like, I've just become accustomed to not taking the highway. And now I'm telling people that I don't take the highway anymore. And somebody was like, "Oh, what a luxury." I'm just like, I was like,
What the fuck does
"No,
that mean?
it's not a luxury. It's a precaution. Like you could do the exact same thing."
Yeah, just give yourself a little extra time.
Yeah. Like
I try not to take the highway because the highway between here and everywhere that I want to go
yeah.
is so annoying.
Like
It's always backed up.
I-
I'm like, why would I want to do that?
I now see why my parents avoided the highway unless necessary. Like, because I'm pretty sure my mother wasn't fond of it either. But I mean, I'm not fond of it for a completely different reason.
I just don't want to take it if I can avoid it.
Listen, if my reaction time were what it used to be, I would still be on it because I was always confident in my ability. But it's not that I'm inconfident or unconfident. I am not confident in the consideration of other people out there.
That aside, I think in general, though, this whole idea of catastrophizing, I think it's a trauma response. We've been through so much shit that we're always ready for it. And I think that, I know for me, I tend to catastrophize conversations more than anything else.
Well, I mean, and going back to the reunion, like a lot of people that were there, certainly people that teased or gave me a hard time 20 years ago, girls that didn't give me the time of day, people that, I was never close with at all.
Did they give you the time of day now?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm married.
I'm like, do I have to fight someone?
I'm just giving an example.
But but that's just it, is that you're talking 20 years. 20 years.
I made conversation with people I never spoke to 20 years ago.
But did they know who you were?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Because I guess I'm that memorable to some people the same way. Like I had said to you so many times, like a lot of these people I only knew through name because, I've heard their name so many times.
Right.
class attendance, being at graduation. Like, you always hear people's names like in line, like especially the G's, everybody with the last name
Right.
starts with a G, like everybody's close and around mine. But again, like I never expected to carry on the conversations that I did with the people that I did with, or with their spouses,
Right.
or their kids. Like it was a very pleasant surprise.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I did not have a 10-year reunion. I did not have a 20-year reunion. And I doubt I'm going to have a 25. So, it's like, for me, these situations are all off the table. Now, I was very comfortable for the last, it's 2026. So I'm going to go with the last 15 years, conservatively. For the last 15 years, I've been perfectly fine removing dead weight friendships, quote unquote, from like my social media. Like people that I went to high school with that we literally do not talk at all. We do not interact at all. We don't even interact on social media at all. So it's just like, why am I, why is it necessary to acknowledge that we knew each other 25 fucking years ago?
Well, that's not what it's for, though.
What is it for?
What, the sake of a reunion?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that I went through like my Facebook and I'm just like, I knew this person when we were growing up. I don't know them anymore. Delete. I'm like, it felt unnecessary to carry that baggage.
I mean,
at this point,
all of these people that I'm talking about, like, again, I only knew by name or just by sitting next to them or around them in class. It was good for us to be able to communicate over, these things that we did have in common, this town that we grew up in, these places that we used to congregate at, these, functions we used to go to, these people that are no longer with us, these, places that are no longer a part of our community. I was on the fence about bringing my yearbook that we could go through, because I'm like, I don't want anybody fucking going through my yearbook with all, like writings to me and shit like that. But then the next day, somebody brought theirs and I'm like, okay, and then we start going through and like, oh, I remember this person and that person and what's this person doing now? And it was because a couple of episodes ago, I had said in the teaser, I said, maybe I need this. Maybe, I need to reconnect with some of these people. And I think it did me a lot of good.
So what I was going to say was that, you
don't have to say it like that.
What I was going to say.
It's not like I was trying to cut you off.
I didn't suggest that. I'm just trying to complete the thought before it completely goes out of my brain. Was that 15 years ago, and in the last 15 years, I got very comfortable just sort of like removing these people from my life, which they were already removed, but it's just like, what am I, I'm hanging on to a name, of a person that existed decades ago in my life. And recently, I would say in the last couple of months, I have been reintroduced to their social medias. And it's just like, hey, you might know this person. I'm like, well, I used to know that person. And I'm just like, yeah, what the fuck? Let's see if they want to interact with me. And still nothing. Still nothing. I said to you that if I have a reunion coming up, are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. If I have a reunion, if ever an actual reunion were to take place for my class, for my high school class, I would go to the next one. And I do not know, even if I were to encounter all of the people that I spent most of my school years with on a regular basis, okay? These people that we had extracurriculars together, we slept over, we had parties and stuff like that and everything. I do not know if they would be happy to see me. I don't think it would cause me trepidation necessarily. But I don't know that because the possibility isn't even on the table right now.
Well, I mean, your next reunion is either going to be next year or in 6 years.
Well, it's definitely, I'm telling you, the fact that we haven't been able to stir up enough interest in a high school reunion.
How many were in your graduating class?
Roughly? I want to say almost 500.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a lot. And I've looked at like the Facebook group for my high
Okay,
school
so one
class and everything.
exists.
Yeah. But it's just like some of these people I'm just like, are they sure that they went to this high school? Because there are some people that I just do not remember.
Well, there's a lot of people in my class that I'm like, weren't you supposed to graduate the year before or the year after? Like, you were never like in our grade, like through middle and high school, for the most part. And the funny thing is that, this is not even by design, but like I was much closer with people older or like much older or much younger than me.
It felt very odd when I was a junior in high school, because that was the first year that my sister and all of her friends in her class were no longer in the school. So it was like, I felt like I lost a lot of people at that point. I would rather go to their class reunion.
And, there was actually a few people there on Friday night that were very happy to see me. Like that took me by surprise, because there's like one person like came up and gave me a big hug and said, I'm really glad that you're here. Like, remember when we used to do this, that, and the other thing? And it's not like I didn't write any of these people off. It was just we ran in different circles at that point. Like, as the years went on, I was hanging out more with my girlfriend at the time's friends who were, she was 2 years younger than me, so they were all 2 years younger than me. And because I'm around her, I'm around them, or if I was hanging out with people, like friends of people that I worked with, they were all older than me. So I'm hanging out with my people who are older than me.
Right.
So again, not by design, but I didn't really have a lot of close friends in my grade.
Right.
But just to hear that, I'm just like, wow, and these were people like that I remembered fondly, because, if I had anything bad to say, I wouldn't have, I either would have faked it or I wouldn't be talking about it now. But like, to get that was cool.
I'm not trying to stir the pot, but was there anyone there on Friday that you wanted to say bad things about?
That I wanted to say
that
bad
like
things.
that something that you like, somebody that you would have been like, ooh.
Like one of my oldest friends was there.
Yeah.
And I saw him come in, but like I didn't run over to like say hello, because he's the guy, I've told this story on the podcast before. We ran into him at the local bar.
Right.
That time that us and Mel were out to eat, and he was like 4 feet away from us.
Right.
And I could see him, like I was facing him, like he's sitting on the same side of the bench that you were on, and Mel is to my left, and I'm facing, and I could see, and he glanced over a couple of times, but like we never made eye contact, never said hello. So for all I know, he probably didn't even know it was me, but I knew it was him.
And he was at the reunion.
And he was at the reunion. And I texted him twice beforehand to ask if he was coming, and he never checked them.
Have you talked?
Not in a while. No.
Okay, so
I got a message back from him at some point last year, because like I found a picture of us when we were kids and I sent it to him, and he did respond. I don't want to take that personally, but like, I mean, he's got a lot of shit going on, like, so, and then maybe someday I don't know. It is what it, like we grew apart, we used to hang out every day, all the time. We were actually neighbors. We lived down the street from each other, and we used to hang out all the time. But we grew apart.
Was there anyone that you were glad did not show up to your reunion? I'm asking the hard-hitting questions this time.
Glad did not show up.
Yeah, was there anybody from your class that you were glad was not there?
No, because I think the one person I would have been glad had not shown up was the one we've been talking about. But no, it was nice to kind of, at least for a couple hours, pretend like that thing last year didn't happen. Because again, I never wanted it to happen in the first place. There's a lot of people I wish had shown up who didn't show up. A lot of people, like I was very surprised to find out how many people are still local, like not just live in Connecticut, but still live in our hometown, and that didn't show up. Probably didn't even know about it. There's one person that we see every Sunday who, probably didn't even know that it, was happening. And I was thinking about saying something, but I'm like, he must know and probably just doesn't want to go. But, I was going to say something on Sunday, be like, oh, I missed you at the reunion. But I'm like, maybe he didn't know, and I didn't want to be the dick to,
I mean,
because he could have come to me and just been like, you knew this whole time and didn't tell me. Like,
But that's just it. Is that it's not like it was your responsibility to, make sure that the class knew about it.
Like-
it's like some people don't have Facebook, and you can't keep in touch with them.
Like he and I, this guy that we see every week, he and I were never like close friends. We weren't friends at all. And there was a brief period, and I've been meaning to apologize to him about this, but there was a period in freshman year where I was not the nicest of people to him. And we see each other every week, and we say hello, and we shake hands, and it's like, but at some point I do need to get that across because he deserves it.
I think that is very noble of you. I think that I personally, this is just my personal opinion, I think that when it comes to the politics of primary education, no matter at what level and everything, I think that when it comes to the politics of that it's like once you have reached a point a point of separation from it, 10 years, 15 years and everything, I feel like all of that is wiped clean. I truly do. I think that you're after 7 years, you are physically an entirely different person. You are no longer the human being that you were. So you double that, you go to 15 years after high school and everything. It's like the idea of holding a grudge with someone who might have been a douchebag when they were 15 to 18 years old is like, I can't even imagine that. It's like all is forgiven. Water under the bridge.
You know what?
Be a better person now.
You want to ask the tough question, okay? Somebody else that didn't show up who was in our class, Ryan Lanza. And we all know anybody who remember. I mean, everybody should remember, but everybody who knows what his brother did, but he had nothing to do with it.
I mean, was he held accountable for anything? Like, was he?
He was originally blamed for, like, if you remember, if anybody remembers early news reports, Ryan Lanza was arrested and held first because for some reason Adam had his ID on him, like at the scene.
That's weird.
So the initial news reports were just like, Ryan Lanza commits mass, shooting in elementary school. And it's like, I'm like, no, it can't be. No. Because I've known him since at least middle school. Actually, probably before that. And it's just like, I feel like had he shown up, it might have caused a bit of a stir.
But I mean, that happened. I mean, it happened so far after your graduation. That like, I mean,
but my point is that, because he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Like there should, I feel like some people would have treated his presence differently.
I think that's a shame.
Given what happened, but knowing him the way that I did, and again, had nothing to do with it. I mean, again, I've known him. Again, we weren't close, but I've spent all these years around this person.
Right.
If it were up to me, I would have liked to see everybody in our class, everybody that's still alive. Like, because some have actually, passed on.
Well, you all would not have fit in that tent. Your whole class.
Yeah. Well, so originally I thought we were going to be inside, where the air conditioning was.
where they kept the air conditioning.
Yeah. So, I mean, we were wiping sweat off our brows all night long.
And then the rain started. And then it was,
and then we sat out in the rain.
It was like, whatever.
Yeah. But I think it's really unfair that, like, it's kind of like a guilt by association thing. Like he gets that rap just because of somebody in his family, sullied their name.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. I probably haven't seen him since graduation, but I've always hoped that he's all right.
Well, you can only hope, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
because it's not fair. I mean, imagine if it was your sibling that did something like that, and then you were always associated. Like, I've always felt like, he deserved better.
Well, I think that's very kind. I think that's very kind, and I agree that I mean, the idea of treating people differently because of something that may or may not have stuck to them,
like we had
years ago,
mutual friends, like we weren't close, but I had friends who were close with him, and vice versa, so and I think about him all the time.
Do you have any way of contacting him?
No, I don't think he's on social media anymore. I mean, I'm sure I could probably get in touch with people who can get in touch with him, but it's like, I mean, again, If he wants to talk to me, he can reach out and I will absolutely respond, but I'm, no pressure.
That's very kind. I think that's very kind. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I do. I think that there is a statute of limitations when it comes to bygones. When bygones be bygones at that point, like the people who I remember a group of girls, my best friends in high school, who turned on a dime for seemingly no reason and went from like we were everything to each other for like 2 years. And then out of nowhere, all three of them just decided I was garbage. And they treated me so poorly and they bullied me and they talked about me behind my back and everything. And years later, I mean, this is 2001, it's 25 years later, and we are all friends on social media and not a word has ever been spoken and nothing has ever been brought to light and everything like that, because you reach a point where it's just like you're a whole different person than you were. You have to there are things that you have to forgive once you reach a point, in my opinion.
I gave you a perfect example of that on the ride home. That last girl that I had talked to before we left, I told you, when I was in 8th grade, I said something to her that I absolutely shouldn't have.
Mhm.
I don't remember exactly what it was, and I hope I never remember what it was, but, she was absolutely justified in taking a swing, which she did.
You told me she punched you dead in the face.
Yep. And when she came over to me, because like we all got together for the group photo, and then we were standing near, and she looked over and she recognized, I guess, and I was like, "Hey, how are you? Good to see you." We hugged and started talking. And she's like, "I'm a lawyer down in Virginia now," and I'm just like, "That's awesome," And you're right. It's we're not the same people.
No.
Both married. I mean, I don't know if she has kids, but it's just like, again, like it's been 20 years.
I mean, that's just it, is that you have to,
that incident was 24 years ago.
We have talked a lot about people not evolving past high school, that people who are stuck in that mindset, stuck in those cliques and everything like that to this day, But it's like, if you are what's the word? If you are evolved enough, intelligent enough, to grow up, like proverbially grow up and everything, it's like there are those moments where it's like there are things that I think when we were in high school, I think we can all admit that high school was when we did some things that we were ashamed of.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've all done things that we were ashamed of. If we were going to be ashamed of it, we should have been ashamed of some of the stuff that we did. And I think that that's just one of those things that if you are intelligent enough to evolve past the person that you were in high school, it's like water under the bridge.
That's why I always say that everybody could benefit from a good punch to the face.
Well,
it is severely humbling. It puts everything in perspective.
I agree. Yeah. I've never been punched directly in the face.
Oh, that wasn't the first time.
Certainly by a friend, I've never been punched in the face by.
And I told you, it sucked because I actually kind of liked her before that. So, if you're listening...
And then you got over that real quick.
25 years later, now you know.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to hug and talk nice to each other.
We used to talk to each other like on the bus. I remember that. Like, like we were kind of like we just talked like, friends by circumstance, sort of. And then that happened and I was like, that just happened. And then everybody was fucking laughing their asses off until I walked away and I was like, fuck them.
What? On the bus or at the reunion?
No, at the incident.
Oh,
because I was embarrassed.
I'm like, at the reunion?
I was really embarrassed, but then when you have time to reflect on it, it's just like, okay, I deserve that.
Yeah,
I absolutely deserve that.
I definitely, like I did some shit where it's like when the backlash sort of came out and everything, it's like I admit, like, I did some shady shit.
The crazy thing is when people actually remember this stuff, like some of the other people we were talking to at the reunion were like, and remember when you drew this picture of me and blah, 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 or whatever it was. And I'm just like, no, honestly, I don't. Oh, man.
I would just double down and be like, wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about. Definitely wasn't me.
So,
But did you enjoy yourself? Are you glad you went?
I wish we had stayed longer. You know,
We stayed. I mean, it was only gonna go so late.
I still can't believe some of them kept the party going. Like it was supposed to go until 10 o'clock, and then afterwards, a bunch of them went to one of the other bars in town or restaurants and stayed there all hours of the night, and then, you know, had trouble getting up the next morning to go to the, you know, the family picnic that they had planned.
I mean, between the wind, the rain, the thunder, and everybody and the music inside, and then everybody yelling.
See,
I got to a point where like I started to shut down because I'm like, I can't hear anything. I can't focus on anything. So I'm just like, I'm just going to stare at people's chests and just wait until somebody addresses me directly.
See, like the all night partying, you know, if that was something that they, you know, originally started back in high school and carried on like all these years later, okay, that's all well and good, but that's not something that I did. I did that many years later.
Yeah.
So like that's par for the course, say in my prime band years, you know, when, you know, we're going to the same places and hanging out with the same people and closing down bars at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, and rightfully so for these people, because again, like some of them are traveling from pretty far away, and this is, you know, they're fun for, you know, a short while and to reconnect with people they haven't seen in a long time. So it's like, you know, you got to get them in while you can.
But I mean, the ones that traveled got me, because I was just like, the fact that so many people traveled that far.
Minnesota, Virginia, Wisconsin. One dude came from fucking Germany.
Like, it's like, just for your high school reunion? That's wacky. That, again, is stuff that I've only seen on TV.
But see, here's the thing, and this got to factor in at some point, that some people probably acknowledge, whether it's internally or externally, this may be the last time you see some of these people.
Maybe.
You know, this may be the very last time, you know, because there may or may not be a 25 or a 30 year. Some people may not make it until then. I mean, some people didn't make it to the 10 year, you know, like we were going through the yearbook on Saturday, and when we got like Chris had asked me, he's just like, do you remember so-and-so? Like, do you know what happened to him? I'm like, no, but it was one of the handicapped kids who was like always in a wheel from the time we knew him, always in a wheelchair. But one of the other ones, he did pass away in 2012 at the age of 24. And it's like, and I'd known that kid since kindergarten. Like he was only supposed to live, I think, till the age of 12, and he doubled his life.
Well, that's good.
So I have a very, very vivid memory of him from high school, because I was always the guy who always had my guitar with me at all times. Like once I got over my fear of carrying it around and what people would like I need something to do in my free period, so I'm just gonna fucking practice. And I always had it with me wherever I was. So in my free periods, this kid, his name was Nick Sumo. He would, you know, come rolling down the hallway, and he'd see me sitting in between the water fountain and the soda machine. That was my little corner where I could hide. And he'd see me and he'd be like, can I play? And I'm like, sure. But he couldn't hold it up by himself. So I'd have to hold it for him. Like I'd hold it up, you know, into his lap.
Yeah.
And he'd, you know, play whatever he could. And, you know, people would walk by and look. And I'm just like, you know, I mean, I can't say no. I mean, he's no, you know, great guitar player, but like I've literally known this kid since we were 4 years old.
I wish I'd gotten my yearbooks out of the garage before you put your car in there. I meant to do that. I'm gonna have to get them tomorrow.
I still don't
I'm gonna get them yesterday.
I don't have it in me to get rid. Like I have John's down there, and you know like we didn't go to high school at the same time, so it's, you know, I mean I'm sure I'd recognize some people. I mean everybody knew our family, but you know the same way that like when I emptied out Dad's house, I got the yearbook, I got Mom and Dad's diplomas from like every year, you know, and all this other stuff. Like I you know, I had a text conversation with Mike and Mark. It's just like somebody should hold on to these things, you know, like it's important enough to where it doesn't deserve to go in the garbage.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Even
nice.
if it's something that we just look back on like every once in a while when we're just like going through stuff for like nostalgia's sake, it's like it can't go in a dumpster.
There are parts of your past that you feel that way about, you know? And I think everybody has those parts. There are things that you just don't feel comfortable dumping, like throwing things, like saying, you know, like, I don't have need to hold on to this, but it doesn't belong in a dumpster. It's just like that's how you end up with stuff like this.
Like seeing a picture of my dad at the age of 14 in his class, like, who the fuck is that? I've never seen this person before.
Sure you have. Sure you have. Did he have
a
did he have
mop
the,
of curly blonde hair?
and the glasses?
No,
No glasses?
nope,
No?
nope.
Oh,
That picture, that's downstairs
I always
somewhere, yeah.
imagine your dad looking like Harvey Danger at that age. With the little specs and everything.
No,
you
that
know?
came later. Oh man, even in like he wasn't wearing glasses in his engagement photos either. There's a picture of him and Uncle James standing next to each other.
Yeah.
Neither one of them were wearing glasses. And Uncle James commented on it when I put it up on Facebook. He's like, "Who's that shorty?"
Your parents' wedding photo that's in our bedroom.
Yeah.
He's not wearing his glasses in that. But I remember you showing me a photo, I thought from their engagement party, where he is wearing glasses.
He was wearing it in some of them, yeah.
Okay. I'm like, because I remember thinking that your dad looked like a totally different person.
No. I don't think he was wearing his glasses in the engagement photos, but like other wedding photos, like other photos at the reception, he had his glasses on.
I remember a photo of your mom and your dad, I want to say near a cake. But
oh, those were sunglasses.
They were not in her wedding. She was not in a
yeah,
wedding
no, he
dress.
was wearing sunglasses in that picture.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Well, what can I say?
Yeah, but I mean, you know, I there was so much. There's still so much, like, because again, like being the youngest, I was a fly on the wall for so many things, like all of Mike, Mark, and John's functions, you know, graduations, this, that, and the other thing, and so I was there for everything. So I remember, like, you know, when tickets were purchased and programs were gotten and you know, pictures were taken and all this other stuff. So like when I was emptying out all the houses, like looking at all this stuff, like I don't know if I said it on the podcast or I just said it to you privately. I have a memory tied to everything. I could look at anything in that basement and be like, I remember either when this was acquired or I remember when it was moved from this place to that place, or, you know.
Were you a fly on the wall for anyone else's reunions of any kind?
No.
No? I mean, did your brother say that he went to his high school reunion?
Mike, I know Mike has frequently gone to his,
Okay.
because his usually end up happening at like My Place restaurant. Mark, I don't know. John, I don't know. I don't think ever went to any of his. I just remember that, you know, like originally we had a fund for ours. I've told you this before.
Yeah.
That we ended up donating to the Sandy Hook families when the shooting happened. So that was, I mean, I don't know what the plans were for that money, whether it was going to, you know, be at like some reception hall or whatever. But like, you know, we graduated in 2006, the shooting happened in 2012. And then from that point on, it was just like, okay, we're in agreement, you know, the 250 something of us that are part of the Facebook group. It's like, we're taking this money, we're giving it to a better cause.
I think it's weird that people have college reunions.
I've never heard of that.
I think it's weird. Like sorority and fraternity reunions, I get it. That's fine and everything. But like, I've heard of people actually having like college reunions. And it's just like, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure that I graduated with thousands of other people.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you a single one of their names.
I mean, my idea of a college reunion would be like my friend group from the Justice and Law
right.
class or department or whatever getting together for a beer and wings.
I could not tell you. I remember one person from the theater department, and that's just because she and I were friends for a while afterwards. Oh, no, that's not true. I could tell you two people from the theater department, but from the English department, I don't think I could tell you a single other human being that I went to school
Like,
with.
I still get hit up every once in a while by some people I went to school with that I either knew from before that or like whatever, who, you know, I mean, just like with so many other things, like traditionally you get hit up when somebody gets married, somebody dies, somebody, you know, like whatever, like that, you know, that Bridgeport cop, Cooper Whiteside, we were in classes at WestCon together. Like we were both in JLA together, and another guy who was in class with us is the one who told me that he had gotten killed. And I was like, oh. He's like, do you remember? I'm like, I remember the name. Like we didn't hang out,
Yeah.
but like, I remember being in class with,
I remember teachers. I don't remember students. I really don't.
I'm still
'Cause
trying
I
to
don't-
figure out who was that teacher that was there on Friday.
Was it a teacher?
It was somebody. I mean,
Was it an envoy? It was a representative of
No
somebody else from
idea.
the class. I don't know.
I mean,
I thought he was just there with like some of the other people that went into the bar.
I mean, do you think it would have been in really bad taste if any of my teachers that had been arrested like showed up?
Yes, unless they showed up as somebody else's date.
Oh, jeez.
Imagine that.
Because in my tenure, actually, no, that's not true. So, actually, no, yeah, okay. So, in my time at the high school, there was one teacher that got arrested for embezzlement
While you were in high school?
while I was in high school, and one that got arrested for having an affair with a student.
Mm.
After I graduated, another teacher from the same department as the first one, the one who got arrested for embezzlement, also got arrested for having an affair with a student.
Just batting 1,000.
And the thing is, it wasn't, just like male teachers and female students. It was male teachers and female students and female teachers and male students. Like
Sure.
it was,
No discrimination.
yeah, no, they were all.
No, when you want the
But
young
there's
booty, you go after
there's a
it.
really funny double standard there though, because if it's a male teacher going after a female student, then shame, you should know better. But if it's a female teacher and a male student, it's like, yeah. What?
No, there's a whole Lifetime movie about that.
I'm sure there is, but
There's a whole like docu-series about, I can't remember what her name was.
I just remember seeing comment threads after that went down and everybody just being like, yeah, good for you, man.
Why, was she hot?
Probably.
Then that's the only reason. Like it's like, yeah, no, that's still gross. It's still gross.
I
Listen,
have no comment.
I was 15 when I think one of my teachers was like, I think probably in his late 20s or something like that. So it's like, it is not a leap to see that kind of age gap.
I mean, you have
in
to hold everybody
relationships
to
and
the same
everything,
standard.
That's just it.
Yeah.
But it's like, if something like that happened, if it was like 18 and 30, that people would still think that's gross, even though there's literally not a thing wrong
so
with
in
it.
my freshman year, we were 14, 15, and we had a lot of teachers that were like in their early 20s,
Yeah.
like 22, 23.
Yeah. A fresh new crop. It's nice. It's nice when you get the fresh
Not
ones.
exactly, because a lot of them actually had been students of my mother, so they all knew me personally. And it's just like, ugh, they're going to hold me to a higher standard now.
Well, yeah, maybe. Well, they shouldn't, because that's not fair.
That was the reputation that preceded. Well, so there were several reputations that preceded me because all of my brothers had gone through the whole school system before me. So that's 3 brothers. Plus my mother had tutored everybody in town over the course of like 40 years.
And you think you were held to a different standard because of it?
I mean, I certainly was thought of differently, by a lot of people. Yeah.
That's weird to me.
Like a lot of teachers were just like, oh, you ought to know better. Your brothers never would have done this.
I only had 2 instances relatively similar to that. One was when I was in 6th grade. The TA for my science and history classes was my cousin. So I'm just like, is this a conflict of interest? Is it all right for you to teach me something? I'm like, this is weird. And the other one was when I was a sophomore in high school, from sophomore year through senior year. The director of our theater department at the high school was this dude who I knew his family growing up. Like, he used to come, bring his guitar and sing, folk songs to the kids at the nursery school and stuff when I was in, grade school and everything. So it's like everybody knew him. His family was famous in the town. They run the chicken shack in town that everybody works at in the summer. And it's just so now we're like, you're a teacher? So you're, in the position of authority now? That's weird. None of us are going to call you by your last name.
The other thing, too, is that guys who went to the same school with my older brothers. So graduated with them, went through all their 4 years
Yeah.
with them. We're also now teachers and administrators at the school.
Yeah.
So that was another layer of that whole,
My 11th grade history teacher was teaching and coaching, I think, the baseball and the football teams, while his younger brother was a senior in the high school that he taught at. And I'm just like,
I remember being really bummed when our original principal retired. Or no, not retired. He transferred. Because he had been principal for many, many years, all throughout while my brothers were there, and I got him for my first 2 years. Nicest guy in the world, always helped me out, looked out for me, whatever. And then he transferred, and then we got, one interim person for my junior year, and then another interim person. Who that third person, my junior year, she was nice too. She ended up becoming first select woman, and then also coincidentally gave the commencement speech at my college graduation. And then my senior year, that woman was awful. But I just remember being really bummed because that first guy, Bill Manfredonia, who, for anybody who remembers, wonderful, wonderful guy. I didn't see him again until my mother's funeral. And then he came and he said some very, very nice things. And, I always wondered, like, what have you been doing? Where are you?
Yeah.
He actually just lost his wife, so I feel bad for him.
I remember having teachers that went to high school with my mother. That was always weird because it was like when I was in elementary school, our gym teacher went to high school with my mom. And when we were in high school, the athletic director, who then became the vice principal, one of the vice principals, because we had so many students, we had so many vice principals, went to school with my mom. And it was hilarious because it was like pull. It was like pull with me and my sister. It was very odd. And then my sister actually got my mom's high school history teacher as a history teacher. So my mom got him on his first year there, and my sister got him on his last year. And I'm glad that I didn't get him because there were rumors that, like, he slept in a fridge and, like, drank children's blood and, stuff like that and everything.
Stuff of urban legend.
Oh, yeah. Real weird guy. Real weird guy. I mean, knew the details of every war fought since, like, the Peloponnesian War and would say things like horse feathers.
Good movie. Then you would have loved one of our gym teachers, Mr. Winsett. This guy was fucking crazy and, like, claimed that his wife invented the ear thermometer and, like,
that's a bold claim.
Some other stuff about, like, Vietnam.
That
or whatever.
is a bold claim.
No, he was funny. He was really funny.
I think it would have been fun if teachers had been invited to your reunion.
I'm sure most of us would have loved to have seen.
I think that would be fun if teachers were invited.
Well, because the other thing too is that, like, as a town, as a community, we all lived through this horrific tragedy together, and came out the other side of it. Really appreciating what we have because, like, like that whole event lives in the pits of our stomach to this day. Anybody who grew up in that town, lived in that town, learned in that town, anything, like, we were all in the trenches of it together.
Maybe that gratitude helped people move past those cliquey politics from high school, and it's like you are more grateful for what you have had and everything like that, and you become more excited to see people that you haven't seen in a long time and everything.
Like this is actually a really good dovetail into what I was going to say a minute ago. When I was cleaning out my old house before we sold it, the most unlikely of chance meetings took place when, it got down to crunch time and my dad was just like, give everything away. Like, if you can't sell it, just get rid of as much stuff as you can. So I put out ads and people just started coming in droves to take stuff. One of whom was the niece of my original Sandy Hook Elementary School principal, Ron Vitarelli, who at the time, I think he might still be around. Same as the high school principal I was just talking about. Nicest guy in the world. You know, I got into Sandy Hook and they're like, he's going to be your best friend and he's going to look out for you. And my brothers always loved him and had great things to say about him.
Yeah.
And then midway, I think it was when I was in 3rd grade, he retired or switched or whatever.
Yeah.
And we got somebody else. I'm like, I can't win. I just can't. But his niece showed up at the house to take stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Vitarelli, are you related to Ron? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, when you see him next, ask him if he remembers our last name. And she said he did. And, you know, said he, you know, wished us well and everything. I said, please wish him because I haven't seen him since I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
And I remember that man fondly.
I would love to be able to like do like a walkthrough of the schools at this point.
Yeah, I didn't get that chance. Like,
the schools are all different now. They've all been renovated and everything. You can't find anything.
I said this to you a couple days ago. Like, I remember it was either sometime during my senior year of high school or I think it was the Christmas, December season after. I drove there just to I pulled into the parking lot and I'm like, it was like 4 or 5 o'clock. And I'm like, I should go in. I should take a walk because it's been so many years since I've been in there. I should see who's still there. I should, you know.
They won't let you do it.
Well, this was different. This was, you know, this is 2006, 7-ish. You know, it's after hours. All the kids are gone. It's like, let me see if any of the custodians are around or the gym teacher, the lunch lady, anybody. Like, let me just go and see. Because, again, everybody knew my family, you know, from having had all my brothers as students, knew my mother from, you know, being involved in things in and around the school and around town. I'm sure they'd be just as glad to see me as I would be to see them.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it. I said, you know what? I'm a different person and I don't feel comfortable and it's not the right time. And I was apprehensive about how it would be met. And so I opted not to. And that was 06, 07, whenever that was. And now I can't.
No.
Because the school that I went to doesn't exist anymore.
They also would never allow that now.
That too.
They would never allow that now. Which is a shame. I used to love just going back to like, I would go sometimes to my elementary school to go visit like my first grade teacher who became a friend of mine, obviously, when I became an adult. And that was weird. Calling her by her first name after all those years. I'm just like, Jesus.
I told you one year that I went to the high school after I graduated to get my transcript. And that same teacher who had not yet been arrested for having an affair, I got my transcript from the office and then I'm like, let me take a walk around, see who I can say hello to. Because people used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
And then I ran into this teacher and he's like, you're not supposed to be here. You need to leave now. I'm like, I have official business. Like, I went to get my okay, you got your transcript. Now you need to go.
I remember when I was in high school, I mean, you know, people who had graduated would come back all the time.
Now, okay, sir. Yes. 3 weeks before graduation, I got arrested for having like a pinky nail size amount of marijuana in my car.
Do you remember that?
You fucked an underage girl while you were married.
I don't know which part of that is worse.
So,
and a student, not just an underage girl, but a student also.
So, which one of us was really the conscientious objector, sir?
Who's the criminal?
Oh, he did that to me one time during class. He pointed out to the whole room. He's like,
"Take that,
Mr. Giannatino is a conscientious objector."
To what?
I don't even remember. I just remember him saying that.
I'd be like, "Go fuck yourself." I object.
I'm sure. I'm sure Bubba's doing that for him right now.
I object.
But you know, 7 years. I'm sure more than 7 years has passed. Are all things forgiven, or is he still on our shit list?
Is he out of jail?
I don't know.
I mean, that's just it. Is there are people that you don't have to like? I'm not suggesting you have to like these people. I'm just saying that, you know, like holding on to grudges like that. It's like.
Listen, I got over my disdain for him very, very quickly because when he came in so abruptly because his predecessor was the one who got arrested for embezzlement. And there were things in the works that I had been working on and he was like, nope, we're not doing any of that. We're changing the whole curriculum. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks a lot. Thanks for nothing. And, we got to know each other and eventually, worked together, I guess, But again, his opinion of me got colored after I got, caught. And then when I found out what happened to him, it's just like, what a piece of shit. Go fuck yourself. It's just like I don't know if I've told this story before, but it's like all the cops who used to bust my balls when I was a teenager doing stupid shit as a kid, who then went on to get arrested for their own crimes. Like, there was at least 3 cops that used to give me a hard time on a regular basis when I was a kid, who then got arrested for drug trafficking and embezzlement.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of pot calling kettles black in our town.
Who's the criminal? You decide. But I mean, they were talking about a 30-year. We gonna go to your 30-year?
Why not?
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be just as much.
Maybe they'll have it indoors this time, just to be on the safe side.
Maybe we should do it at the school.
The
gymnasium.
No one will
like you're supposed to do on
should
TV.
Be able to do right, like on TV. It makes more sense.
I mean,
and then the teachers
our
can
gym
be there.
and our cafeteria probably don't even look the same anymore. Now there's all these. They started out with one extension. Like the high school was always the exact same until 98, 99. They put the first extension.
Yeah.
The science wing extension, and then they changed the cafeteria and the gym. And then in the years since, they've added this giant glass extension to the back. They've added more sports fields in the back lots. There's even, I think, another extension beyond the glass one. Like, they've re-turfed the football field and this, that, like just so much shit going on.
Yeah.
It's.
They did it to my school too.
It's tough when so much changes so fast.
But it's not changing for you.
No.
Like, that's just it,
I think it would be easier to stomach, though, if it was changing, like, during my time. Because at that point, it's not like it was a certain way for you, or for us. And then, now we have to just get used to the way things look or the way things are now. Because if it was happening while we're there, it's like, it's just part of that experience. Like, okay, so we're getting an addition. We're getting a change. We're getting whatever. But then now that we've all gone and spent so much time away, and then now things change.
Yeah.
It seems... That's a little bit harder to stomach.
They started doing the renovations on my high school my senior year.
Because it's not.
And it was
a
real pain in the ass. I gotta say, it was a real pain in the ass.
Like every time I drive into town, I always point out like this used to be this and this used to be over here and so on and so forth, because it's not as we remember it.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Well, we'll see what happens for the 30-year. We'll see what happens. I think we'll go.
If there's one, we'll go.
Why not?
I think, we could all probably do a little bit more and make it a little easier on Chris. I mean, this shouldn't all just fall in his lap.
Well, maybe.
But he took it on,
But I mean, maybe, maybe 10 years from now, people will be more accessible. I mean, again, look at our wedding. When all you have to do in contacting these people is a Facebook Evite, you're bound to lose a lot of people.
He kept saying, he's like, by then all of our kids will be in high school, so it'll be easier. And,
Not everything. Some people there had infants.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people there had a lot of kids. Like, not only was I surprised to see how many people stayed close, how many people had, like, one guy who I'd, known since 8th grade had 6 kids.
You gotta find a hobby.
That is his
or
hobby.
A new hobby. That poor woman.
She must have wanted it too. I mean, come on.
I'm sure. Yeah. No. Well, good for them. And good for you.
And good for you.
And good for me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I think you made an impression.
I made an impression on somebody, I'm sure. The dog made plenty of impressions.
I mean, what did you talk about?
Everyone was making sure that she was okay once the thunder started.
What did you talk about when I went to walk the dog?
We were talking about everybody else giving birth and the fact that I don't have tubes and staring down the barrel of the vagina and everything like that. Like, it got gruesome at a point, and I was grateful to a point that I could only hear like a little bit of what was going on.
Just nod your head, be like,
yeah, I'm like, mm-hmm. Anyway,
this was a good talk.
Yes. And again,
we
will see everybody at the 30-year. Thank you out there in podcast land for tuning in and sticking it out. We had a blast. Find us on social media, DT Andy and JJ Star with 2 R's on Instagram. You can also find downtown_Andy and Just Starable. We're there too. You can find Love Hard Art and Coat of Arms Tattoo on Instagram. You will find Love Hard Art at the Westchester Tattoo Con this October 2nd through 4th at the White Plains Civic Center, the County Center, whatever it's called. That's going to be a good time. Stay tuned for previews of some of the work that's coming out, because I've been drawing a lot of shit. Email us, dtandyanjjstar@gmail.com, if you have questions, comments, concerns for our well-being, conversation starters and enders, and if you would like to participate in a conversation at some point, and maybe what you want to talk about.
We got a surprise in store for you guys next week. So we pre-recorded next week's episode because we are not going to be here.
No, we're taking a week off, but we're not taking it off from you. An episode will come out, and it will come out on time.
So if we look different, it's because we recorded that one, 2 weeks ago?
I don't think we look that different. 2 weeks doesn't make a big difference.
Whatever.
You know, we're wearing hats. That's a little different.
We put one in. How funny would it be if what if I had shaved for this episode, and then next week airs, and then I've got a beard again, and then I go back to being shaved?
That would be a little weird.
Be like I glued it back on just for one episode.
That would be a little weird.
That's just, I don't know, I'm just thinking out of it.
Download Podbean and give us a like and a follow on there so that we can make money. We appreciate your money. What about eyebrows?
Nothing. We do appreciate your money.
Yes, we appreciate your money. What else? The OnlyFans. You can find It's JJ Star on OnlyFans.
Got some new content up there.
Yeah, some new content up there. And you got anything? You got anything in the works?
I'm just selling stuff right now.
Just doing it up and having a good time.
Enjoying my time off from work.
Yeah. So catch us with a fresh one in 2 weeks, where we will talk about what it's like to go on vacation and not actually have to work during it. Yay! And on that note, that's it. That's a full lid. So from the 4 of us here at That Talking Podcast, I am JJ Star.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
And we'll talk to you later.